Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Check. No talking during it, okay? If you're giggly and talky over there, I gotta turn your mic off, but I want you to have your mic on so I can talk to you, so you can push it away while you're focusing on that. You can go to the bathroom. Okay, hurry up.
Is there anything I should know before going in? No?
This is just gonna be it. The magic.
This is gonna be so sick. I can't wait for this. Dude, this is like, you were like locked in setting up. I didn't want to say, but like, dude, this is so fucking cool. This setup.
This is it.
This is so fucking cool.
This is like, I've always wanted this, like this kind of like forever.
Yeah.
I've been like
I've been in a couple like radio stations and stuff, and like this feels like I'm back in a proper like studio.
Right?
It's so wild. I mean, it is a proper studio, I guess.
I know it feels like we could be.
This is WKHFM. Carson Mattern's ready to rock. This ain't your grandma's station.
That's our producer, Ellie.
Podcast is now going.
Okay, Ellie, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch it over here. I'm going to read a little intro here.
Okay.
And then you can go from camera 3 to my camera. What's my camera, 1?
Yours is 2.
No. It should be 1, right?
Okay, it's 1. Fine.
Try to make it super professional, okay?
Okay.
And we can't be interrupting. You got to let us just talk. So no more talking or noise making, okay?
Okay.
But you're working. It's good. We didn't start yet, but you're going to be on the switcher, so don't forget to be switching. When I talk, be practicing now when I talk and when Carson talks. Do you think you can do it, or you just want to hang out, or you want to just go up and watch a
I
movie?
want to do this because I'm on you, because you're talking.
Okay, start with the 3.
I'm on 3.
Okay. We got our cameras, line of sight. How's it looking? Is my head in the camera, Ellie?
No.
What do you mean, no?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I was joking. I was
All right.
joking.
Get yourself settled. Let me know when you're ready, Ellie.
Okay, I'm not ready yet.
Okay.
Wait, which one do you say I have to start on? 1?
Yep.
Start on 1?
Yep, are we ready to go?
1 minute. Oh, wait a second. Yep.
All right. From now on, no more talking, okay? All right. Carson Mattern.
Hello.
Hey, welcome back.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. Before we get started, I want to read something that I wrote just for the people who didn't see the first one because we never released it, and that story we'll get into. And then this is the second time you've been here.
Yeah.
So you're like an old pro already.
Pretty much.
You're the first guest to be on the My Girona podcast the second time.
Look at that.
Yep. And then I wrote something down for people who don't know you or know anything that we're going to talk about here. So let me just go through it really quick, and I'll if any of this is off, you just let me know.
Sounds good.
But today's guest is someone who already earned the respect of Canadian cycling scene, and now he is fighting to earn his place back in the international spotlight. Carson Mattern, you are a world champion on the track, national champion on the road, and one of the most well-rounded young cyclists to come out of Canada in a generation. These are my words. At just 22, you raced against the best U23s in the world, competed in the Tour de l'Avenir, and helped redefine what Canadian development looks like.
This is high praise.
Oh, dude, I love this. I'm so glad you're here. You're one of your biggest fans besides our producer, Ellie. But 2025 didn't go according to plan, neither in the podcast world or in the bike world. In the stage 5 of the Tour de l'Avenir, you took a digger. You crashed hard. You broke your ankle, fractured your vertebrae.
Yeah.
And that was it. Season over.
Season over.
For 2025. And you put that's pretty much your Olympic build-up paused. And that was the end of the race calendar for the year. Today I want to talk about what's coming next, your rehab, how's it going, and your rethinking and rebuilding on what you see for your future. We can talk about the recovery process, the identity shift that happens when you're off the bike, how Girona is shaping this next chapter in your career, and yes, perhaps maybe a little bit about the Beastie Boys again. Carson, Thank you so much for coming back.
Oh, it's my pleasure to be here, man. I'm like, this is so cool. I'm kind of like geeking out about the setup around me, all the wires and cables and stuff. This is this is super cool to be here.
This is super cool. It's a real pleasure to have you here, and it's so cool for me too. Like, this is the first time I've recorded here or set up. Like, I just finally like was taping down cables last night, and today like Ellie was helping me. Ellie, how are you?
Good, thank you very much.
That's our producer Ellie on the ones and twos. Ellie, we'll get back to you here in a little bit.
Thank you.
We have some questions for you. Thanks for keep switching that camera back and forth. Ellie also baked some of these delicious cookies on the table.
You can have them right now if you want.
At any point you can have.
I've been eyeing them up. We'll save them for a bit.
Yeah.
I've been wined and dined tonight. I'm like sitting through it. But
Yeah, we'll get to it.
yeah.
It is the Christmas holiday, so this is going to be deemed the Carson Mattern Christmas special.
Ooh, I like this. I like this. This is so special. Sorry, did I hear correctly? I'm the first guest you've had in the new studio.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really special.
Yeah. We've run some pre-games. Ellie and I did a little pre-podcast today with Mom.
And Courtney.
And Courtney. But yeah, you're the first official, and we're just breaking it in. Like, feel it. This is sanded. This was really rough. The best Bauhaus can offer.
And these like outlets and everything, did you do this yourself, or is this like a purpose-made recording table?
Yeah, drilled everything.
Wow.
Sanded everything. Ran all the cables. Taped everything so we can have like, you don't have to worry about running cables. You know, it's all. It feels so good.
Yeah, it looks like top-notch.
Yeah.
So cool.
We just need maybe a carpet, maybe some, I think, wall treatment. We're going to get a Sharpie. I'd like if you wanted to sign the wall anywhere.
Anywhere.
Yeah, probably better in camera view behind me somewhere.
Yeah.
Just all the guests to just do their signatures and just fill the wall up would be super cool.
Whoever moves into this house after is going to go like, who are all
we're
these
never
people?
moving.
Never moving. Once we've signed it, it locks it in. That's your contract.
This is it. I'm never going to leave this place. This is the best place in Girona.
Wow.
So what's been going on, dude? How are you?
Dude, I'm great. I've been back in Girona for a little over a month now. It's crazy. Like, I'm set up to leave in a couple of days to go home for the holidays, it's so weird. Like, I was here for so long kind of through the year, and then I was at home for a bit and then came back, and now I'm going back again. But yeah, I think it's special always to be home for the holidays. We have also the track national championships is straight after New Year's every year.
Yeah, wow.
So that'll be a week up in Bromont, doing some racing there. I got to get my visa sorted with everything that went on in the last, couple months. Like, completely forgot to renew my visa. So that's a process I've been doing remotely now, and hopefully should be able to go pick that up. So I don't get deported, which will be nice.
Yeah, is that stressful? Does it take a long time to do that here?
Not really. It's just like, the hard part's been done, so all the paperworks are in, and now it's like the hurry up and wait, which when you're dealing with bureaucratic entities like consulates, it can sometimes be a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where I'm at. So I'm back, living life, trying to come back from the injury, put it all behind me, and
yeah, I talked a little bit
it.
about that, like your crash. Can you talk a little bit about like that? That's what happened, and like take us in the Wayback Machine, and I really, because we were to rewind it just for a second. We sat down, and I'm gonna have some of that footage and some highlight clips of the first episode where we look like two kids sitting at the small table for Thanksgiving in the other part of the studio here, which I thought is hilarious. I can't wait to share some of that with you too, because we look ridiculous. You look the chair is so low and your knees are so high.
Oh my!
And we're just like
I haven't seen any of this either. So like, you told me, oh, it doesn't look so great. I'm like, oh, I'm sure it's fine. You're like, no, dude, you got to trust me on this. We got to redo it.
Hilarious. I mean, it's so cool. The contrast of going from that to this, which I think now it's a better time to put some of that stuff out, because I just felt bad because I was like, I want to put Carson in the best professional light that I can to make it look sort of legit, If it was just audio, fine. But the videos, I think for me, adds so much of like our conversations, our smiles, our interactions. And as I was just editing it, besides the part that I've sort of screwed up the audio, I was like, look at us. It looks like a clown school, but it's so cool to have this dynamic to balance it. And but we were talking about that race coming up and how excited you were for the season, and you crash.
Yeah.
What was that like?
So what happened was it was one of the last stages of Tour de l'Avenir. We were it was like the big mountain day. So my objective was just survive, make the time cut. All the opportunities, all the stages that, really offered something for me had passed at that point. Now you're just trying to finish the stage. You've got the biggest talents in cycling, like young talents in cycling in this race. So the names that are going on to win this stage race are the guys that you're going to be hearing about in 2 years because they're going to be winning the Tour de France. So this is their playground now. We're in the high mountains in the Alps. And unfortunately, coming down one of the descents, maybe an hour or 2 hours into the stage, I just crashed. Pushing the limits really hard. I have to stay within myself on the climbs and use the descents, use my technical ability to, try and make up some of that distance and get back to the group. And it was pouring rain, blind left-hand corner, just went flying into it, full gas, like taking all the risks I can. I could see the group just ahead. And just the way the corner was, it kind of came back around on you. So when you just see it for the first time, you think, there's the apex, I'm going to hit it. You hit it, you're coming out of the corner, and all of a sudden now there's a guardrail kind of coming back around in front of you, and you're thinking, oh man, I'm not going to make this. So impacted the guardrail. I was going proper fast, probably more than 70 kilometers per hour, I would say. And then went straight over. It's an alpine road, so there's not a nice shoulder or anything. There's a sheer drop. So I fell straight over maybe about 20 feet, boom, right into the ditch. So I broke my neck in my C3 and my C4, which, are pretty scary places to break your neck, from what the doctors told me. I also fractured my ankle, which, was a big bummer. There's some silliness happening behind the scenes here. I'm trying to zone it out a little bit here as I'm remembering the story.
Oh man, Ellie.
What?
You were laughing at Carson crashing his bike? No. Good. It's not a laughing matter. It's very serious. All right, let's get back to it on the board.
Okay. Keep going. Go,
Thank you.
go.
Thank you.
Yeah. So the prognosis was I broke my neck, broke my ankle. It took them a bit to scoop me out of this ditch here. The paramedics in France, God bless them, they did such a good job. But that was it. That's my season over. They had to operate on my ankle. They put 2 screws in. The neck, thank God, didn't really need any intervention. But basically what happened is I walloped my head so hard on the way down that I pulled the front of my vertebrae out of my spine, just detached it from the rest of my neck. So, it was far enough away from the spinal cord that there was no concern over neurological damage. But, in the first couple hours, we don't know that. So they were just kind of lay very still because maybe you don't walk tomorrow. Try not to move until we can ascertain all that information. So it was a tense 24 hours trying to figure out if I'm going to, be able to live a normal life, let alone ride a bike again.
That's super scary. And I know that people, at least for myself, I see and follow cycling and see people crash all the time. And, a lot of guys crash and they get back up and they continue today, they continue the tour. That seems like an incredible feat in itself, knowing, how it feels to crash.
Yeah.
But also to have that, potential of a life-changing injury. That's super scary. I'm sure your family and your mom must have been freaking out.
Yeah, so my mom, obviously because I crashed in the race, I didn't have my cell phone or anything with me. So I was, my first concern was I need to get a hold of someone. The team wasn't able to send someone with me to the hospital. They have guys in the race they need to take care of. They can't just send the mechanic or the DS to the hospital with me. They need to service the rest of the guys in the race. So I was by myself at the hospital for a few hours, just trying, I didn't have my phone or anything. So trying to get a hold of someone back home to if nothing else, start the insurance process. Cause
Sure.
They were pretty damn sure I needed surgery, at least on my ankle.
Yeah.
My mom came over actually to France pretty quickly. I had a friend in Geneva come visit me. I was in the hospital in Albertville, which is relatively close to Geneva. So people were there and able to see me within a day or so. And it was nice to have my family around. But my folks there, they're pretty stoic when it comes to this kind of stuff. They're not going to be hysteric over anything. It was more just, how can we help? What's the next step? And we can put the emotions away until there's something to really worry about,
Yeah. Now, fast forward maybe a month and a half.
Okay.
I'm on my way to work. I'm on my way to work. Carson, would you bring Ellie a cookie? Ellie, you want to come get a cookie?
This can be the grand reveal. Here's our producer, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, our producer, Elizabeth Moon. You're picking the gingerbread. Good job. Okay, back to the switchboard. Month and a half later, I'm on my way to work, descending the backside of Montjuic. Front wheel goes out.
Oh, no.
Front ribs, or 4 broken ribs, and broken wrist.
Yeah.
The second I stopped sliding and realized how hurt I was, I let out a little, Carson.
That's so funny.
Because we just had breakfast with you a few weeks before that. And we went to La Fabrica. You were in your neck brace, in the wheelchair and crutches. Everybody was like looking at us like, that guy definitely crashed. That guy's a pro racer. He crashed. And I just kept thinking the whole time, like, how time sort of stands still once you are hurt. You know what I mean? You sort of just know, like, the next however instantly. You don't really know how long it's going to take. But when you're hurt, you're like, well, like, this is what I'm not going to be doing anything else other than recovering. How did you deal with that recovery process, like being that injured?
Yeah. So, I mean, like the sort of immediate next steps, like after I had like crashed, like definitely that moment of like, I feel like you can tell when you're really, really hurt, like you hit the ground and okay, you got road rash, whatever. Okay. You know, you're okay to get back up and get going. This was like, I'm pretty sure. I'm sorry.
I'm not doing anything. Hello? I can't hear myself.
Yeah, you can't be talking. That was the part of being the producer. The part of being the producer was just not goofing, okay? You're being goofy, okay? Don't touch anything, okay? And do the switches. You're on Carson? Now Carson. Good.
Do you want to roll it back to any point?
No. This is good.
Keep going?
Yeah, this is all. This is it.
This is it.
This is my Girona.
All right.
We're all learning here, and it's a big part of it. I mean, I'm trying to be a good dad and a good teacher, but take it serious too.
Yeah, of course.
Ellie's pretty funny and goofy, and she's a not constant crack up. And at some point, Ellie, we might get you over here again, but we're just going to get into Are you doing the switches? Am I on? Okay. So, yeah, just trying to. This is really the reality of the whole situation.
This is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ups and downs of cycling, the ups and downs of fatherhood, and most of it's great. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
It's like 364 really, really great days, and every now and then you have like one really shite day.
Yeah.
But just like to roll it back, what you were saying of like you hit the ground, you have that impact, and you just have that moment of like, there's like, it feels like forever, but it's probably in reality only like a few seconds of like just taking it in, like what just happened? Am I okay? Especially when it's like, when you break something, like your body's sending signals that like, hold on, don't get up for a second. So like in my case, I hit my head, and I have like, the more time I've had to sit with this, the more I've realized that like I did lose consciousness at some point, because I can remember up until my front wheel like impacting the guardrail, and then there's kind of nothing else between that and then kind of becoming aware of where I was in the ditch. But I can remember very distinctly a feeling of like there being an impact on my head or my neck, so obviously where it broke, and then there was like an instant like TV static feeling that just shot out through my whole body, and then there was just no sensations. And so there was for a good few minutes that as I'm laying there, like I can't move anything, I can't feel anything. I'm very like acutely aware that something has just snapped in the back of my spine.
Right.
But like nothing is moving, nothing is responding. So there was like a, oh my God, I'm paralyzed moment, until like I could see my hand was like spazzing out like crazy. So I'm like, okay, something's getting through there. I can't quite tell it to stop yet, but signals are getting through.
Right.
But certainly that was, I think someone came up to me and was like, are you okay? Like trying to change the wheel. I'm just like, no, man, you need to like call an ambulance. Like I thought at least it was just like both my clavicles were done, because there was just so much pain as things started to come back. There was so much pain up here, and I'm like, oh, for sure it's my clavicles. But then it ended up not being my clavicles.
Yeah. Yeah, from the road to where you landed in the pictures, it looks far. And if it's a photo, the photo or the video of the crash, it's like it doesn't do it justice to like the distance that you went over the rail and down until you're like on the grass. I love the picture where they're just showing you and you're just like, hey, just chilling. Like, I can feel some things, like I'm still alive. Like, okay, that's one of the things I really appreciated when we got to hang out and while you were racing, have a candy cane when you were racing in La Isgard.
I'm going to chew my candy cane and
As soon as you chew that,
French.
It was cool to see, your character and how you were racing and riding, and it just was super fun to hang out. So seeing you smiling in at least your photos, I was like, I think he's going to be okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That was sort of that picture that you're talking about. That's what was on my Instagram. I decided after a couple of days, okay, I want to put a message out. Like, people are going to wonder where I am, why I didn't finish this race, etc. So that photograph was medical teams were on the site. They were just trying to like figure out the best procedure. Like, it was clear I wasn't like dying in that moment. So there was a bit of a pause. And I just said to my mechanic who was there and was like chilling with me until they got there. I was like, hey man, like take a picture of this. This is going to be like kind of a funny memory, probably look back on in like 10 years. And B, as I'm trying to explain this to people, like trying to paint the picture of like, oh yeah, I just like fell off a mountain. This picture will help. So, people saw that. It was like, did no one help you? Were you just like laying there? I'm like, no. People had been with me already for like half an hour. Like I was fine. Yeah. So yeah.
What's it been like being back in Girona now that you've, can you say you fully recovered, or you're still,
I would say,
where are you at?
Like my capacity on the bike is back to 100%. I would say it was a slow, gradual, but also intentional build back up to this. I'd say this, like the last 7 days has been the first time that I've not felt encumbered by anything injury related. And I have, my strength coach and some of the physiotherapists that have worked with me over the last couple months to credit to that and thank for that. But the big thing that the ankle was honestly the worst part of this whole thing. The neck was just wear a neck brace, try not to fall or move your spine in a weird way while you're wearing it. And then once it's healed, it's done. Like, okay, my neck's a bit stiff, but hey ho. The ankle, because they had to do, a somewhat invasive surgery, drilling things into me, and they had to cut out a bunch of soft tissue, so it just traumatized all of like the smaller stabilizing tendons in my ankle. That's what took the longest to come back from as far as like a cycling recovery, because I also wasn't allowed to weight bear for like 6 or 7 weeks.
Yeah, sure.
So lots of muscles atrophied, and we just lost lots of strength. My calf shrunk like a raisin. That's what took the longest. But again, working in the gym, working with very, very specific target exercises to build back up that strength. And then now it's just managing some stiffness, some tightness. I was getting a lot of pinched nerves. So I'd like start losing sensation in my hand or like waist down. And I'm like, oh my God, what's going on here? Like, why can't I feel my legs? So went back in, got some x-rays. No, the fracture was completely stable. It's just purely like things are tight, and it's tight enough that it's just pinching all my cables. Nothing's getting through.
Yeah.
But yeah, this week all of a sudden I'm riding around and I'm like, oh, my neck's feeling pretty good, and
that's great.
Nothing's hurting. Yeah.
Who do you get to ride with while you're here? Do you train a lot solo, or do you have a good network of people here that you can train or sit on wheels or push yourself? What is that like for you?
It's a bit of both. I really like training solo. I'd much rather train solo and then socialize afterwards. I think, I'm a social person, and I think if I go riding with someone, we end up just chatting the whole time. And for me, like if I'm out there to work, I want to work, and then if I want to chill, okay, let's go to the cafe or something. But no, I've got lots of friends here, so I've ridden with some teammates on just sort of those long chill days where we're just, it's December, we're just riding along, we're drinking Fanta Limon at all the gas stops and going on from there. So it's been good to see everyone, but then there's also been some select days where it's been all right, man. Like we're going out and we're really going to see where the limits are right now, try and not like break myself, but like let's actually see like constantly staying within me isn't going to give me a picture of how I'm progressing with this recovery and building back up. Like I'm past the like recovery and now into the we're rebuilding for what's to come kind of phase,
Yeah. Do you train harder than you would ever race? Or I know like the race that I got to see you do last year, seemed like the whole time it was just go, go, go.
Yeah.
You obviously can't train like that, but is that what you're sort of saying? Like you have to at least push yourself certain days or certain periods during your training season to sort of see if you can compete at that level?
Yeah, I mean, like you work it back, right? So if you've got a race that's going to have a certain physical demand, like, okay, this is day in, day out, the kind of effort I'm going to be doing, the amount of workload I'm going to be doing, you can start to replicate that in training. So if at the end of the stage, you're going to be faced with an hour-long climb, and you're going to roughly have to take that climb at like threshold. You can, after 3 hours, you can kind of simulate those kind of efforts in training. Right now, it's a lot more general. Like there's no road racing for me for still another couple of weeks. The season doesn't really kick off till February for me. So it's still very like foundational. Let's build up the engine again. But yeah, still certainly there are days when we're going out and it's like, all right, today's going to be like a 4,500 kilojoule day. Like it's going to be a big proper day.
Wow.
And like doing that Tuesday, doing that Wednesday, like it's stacking these days up day after day and with the consistent work rate is what's really making the difference for me right now. Like I'd rather have 3 or 4 really solid, consistent days than one like absolute firecracker. And yeah, sometimes people just don't want to come with you on a ride when you're, have some VO2 blocks to throw in after 4 hours of like high tempo, So yeah.
There were some guys that I worked with and rode with in Boulder, and not being a pro or not being a competitive cyclist or just being like, I just love cycling and going out with people. I'm like, this is going to be great. We're going to do a ride. We'd go out, do a 3-hour, 60K ride, lots of climbing. And most of the people would be like, hey, Eddie, like great day. It was great, so great to see you. And I'd be like, where are you going? They're like, oh, we're going to go train.
Yep.
And they'd go do it, like something like that would have been an even harder ride than we did afterwards, just to push like 200 watts or 300 watts or 400 watts for 40 minutes just because they had to, Granted, that was their job. There's a big difference when it's your job or you're competing like that. I always find it interesting and funny that every bike ride I go on, whether it's by myself or with a group of people, I like to ride alone only because I can pace myself and I just enjoy the ride. I'm like looking around. I'll get the hair in me and be like, I'm going for it, and feel great. And then someone will just go flying by me, Did I ever tell you when I was going out towards the backside of Els Angels, and I hear somebody behind me. It's like getting closer to the right hand turn to go up the back of Els, and on that little flat section of farmland, and I hear somebody behind me, and I just thought another roadie caught me, and then was sitting on my wheel, So I'm like super hyper conscious, so I'm like tuck the elbows, I get into my position, I shift down one gear and I'm just like high spinning but like doing some like low cadence and like pushing and just going, waiting for somebody to come around. And I'm like, man, I'm really like staying on the front, and I turn around and it's like a guy on a fucking mountain bike, like farm guy. And I was just like, no fucking way. And he's in boots, jeans, and he's totally just fucking on this creaky mountain bike. And he was right on me the whole time.
Man.
And then I look back and I like totally just like blew up or just pulled out and like looked over to him. I was like, bon dia. And he was like, hola, bon dia. And then he just turned down the dirt farm road and then just was like, and pedaling. And I was like, oh my God. But it was classic, like, he probably sees so many cyclists going by that he's like, I'm going to catch this motherfucker. And I was like the dude he could catch,
Well, some of these guys are like so wicked strong too.
Oh, they're like lifting, they're farm people.
Like, do you ever see these guys, like they're in like Africa or Colombia or something, and they're just like on these like crappy old bikes, but they're just hauling their stuff around because they don't have a car. And then, these cyclists go there for camps and they're just like riding with this local dude because he's just stupid strong. So that's just his life.
Yep.
So, I wouldn't put it like, I'd give yourself some credit. I bet you that farm guy is a lot stronger than you think.
He probably won some race back. I mean, he was an older dude too, so he had the old man strike. What's that, Ellie?
Nothing.
When are we going to ask you questions? All right, hold on.
Thank you. I can't hear myself at all.
At all?
I can't hear myself. La la la. La la la. No. Now I can. Now I can. La la. Okay, I'm gonna be
Ellie.
quiet.
Did you want to have a quick talk? Did you want to ask Carson anything?
Yes. Carson, what's Jango's favorite animal?
I mean, I feel inclined to say like a great ape or something, because that's what she
I
used to
would
study,
say-
yeah?
No.
Hold on, let me guess too. So it's not a great ape,
No.
and it's not any of the apes?
No.
Because I would say maybe chimpanzee or maybe orangutans?
No, do you want me to tell you?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
A dog.
A dog.
Oh, come on. Really?
Yeah, and my favorite animal is a dog.
What's your favorite dog?
Whatever kind Jango's favorite dog is.
Okay.
But Ellie, you have a cat and a goat, not a dog though.
But sometimes my landlord's dog come over, so
True.
that's not a dog.
Like
That's
a-
a dog.
Rental dog.
What is your landlord's dog's name?
Vladimir.
Vladimir. He's very cute.
He ate one of my long shirts like here.
Hey, Ellie, can you go to camera 3?
Camera, sweet, Dad. It don't show you. It just shows 1, 2, 8, 1, 32, 0, 0.
Is anything working?
No, 3 isn't. Look. Oh, now you're up. Hi, Carson. Oh, you just waved. Okay. Yeah, I'm on. Oh. I'm watching. Ah.
Okay.
Who's gonna go?
So,
I've got to ask a question real quick before we start.
Yeah.
I just smashed a candy cane cookie. It was really, really good. 10 out of 10. But do I have any cookie in my teeth?
nope, you look good.
Perfect. We can continue.
Perfect.
So good.
That's something you have to worry about with the video
You look
podcast.
so good.
So what else has been going on? How have you been doing in just normal life?
Yeah, I mean, I took sort of the time I had to spend at home, and that was generally the longest break I've had from cycling since I was like 10. And like
Wow.
not just riding a bike, but like nothing. There was not a whole lot going on. So I just took it really as a time to sort of reset. I'm sure in the same way that maybe my parents looked at like the pandemic of like, oh, it's, when we thought it was only going to be 2 weeks, like, oh, let's just take this time and like enjoy it and, live in the moment. Yeah, so it was a bit of fun at home. Went to a Jays game, got like super nice tickets because I rolled up in a wheelchair, and they quickly escorted me down to a nice exclusive box.
Benefits.
And it was just like, some of my friends, whenever they'd be like off university for reading week or something, and if it was just, hey, Carson, let's go do this. Like there was no second thought. There was no, well, I've got training, or like, well, it was just like, yeah, I'm in. So it felt really good to sort of live the life of a normal, 21-year-old for a few weeks. And, but once it was time to get back to cycling, I was pretty ready for that. I was getting a little bored,
Yeah.
especially with the crutches. Like I was done. The second they said, you don't need the boot anymore, they were like, you should wean off it and, walk with the boot, still use the crutches as support. I just handed like my mom the crutches. I took the boot off. I'm like, I'm walking to the car. Like I'm leaving this behind. I'm so done.
Yeah.
So I had a bit of like a one crutch kind of like little pimp cane action going around for a week or so until just like the swelling went down. But yeah, then I was back to normal life and riding, but I think still trying to find a good balance between training and also just living.
What do you do besides ride? I mean, do you date anybody, or do you have any time to like get into relationships, or is that sort of something you keep? I mean, you can keep it private. Don't feel like you have to answer. But I'm always curious, like, how do you find the time to like do anything like dating anybody?
It's interesting. Like, haven't really ever felt the urge to like enter that scene here. I phrased it earlier as like I feel like it's negative, and I don't think it is. I think it's like, especially amongst like the international cycling community that's here, it's like such a small, tightly knit
Yeah, it's
group.
not a big group.
It's not a big group, and like I just like it feels weird to like there's no privacy in a way.
Yeah. You know what is it? You don't want to shit where you eat. Or,
Yeah, just
you
like
know?
I don't know. Like I've also not put myself like into that scene either. So like how do I really know what the experience might be like? It's
Sure.
just I don't know when I'm here. Like it feels like I'm here to focus and work, and maybe I'm just a little too like single-minded on it. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe something to look look at and think about going forward if this is truly where I'm trying to be and like establish a bit of like a normal feeling life. Like,
Right.
maybe that becomes part of the picture. Who knows?
Well, one of the thing about Girona, I'd imagine also is that if you were looking to like for something like that, or we're looking for a relationship, it probably would be a good thing to have someone else who has the same interest, or at least is a sort of a cyclist. If you're looking for a cyclist, they're here.
Yeah.
Or someone who's, it doesn't have to be, like love is super crazy,
Yeah.
like who you find or who you pair with and who you're like, wow, this is the person for me. But it does seem like there is the typical like cycling couples here. When you see people who are like, oh, you guys are together.
Yeah. It's embarrassing, isn't it? Like you see people on a date and they're with their bikes. You're like, oh, you guys are on a date. Like I know what's going on. Why don't you just stay home? It's like Seinfeld,
Yeah, totally. It is funny too. Like I always try to pick out too, because we live on the Montjuic Hill, and people are always coming up this way, and you always can sit there because you have enough time to watch like them coming up the hill, and be like, oh, there's a guy and a girl, like, and like they're probably, you can tell whether they're married, maybe, like, oh, they're definitely married, because either the lady's dropping the guy or the guy's just like, let's fucking go. Like there's no compassion left at all. It's just like, come on. Or there's the over helping the girl, being like, come on, right next to, and being like, watch out for the car and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just,
it's like, oh, they're dating.
The class, he's trying to, win it. And then, Courtney and Ellie will come riding up on the e-bike, and the goat will be like, we're just like, hey, we live here.
Classic. Yeah.
There is like there's also like the matchy-match crews, the matchy-match couples. I've yet to see a really good tandem couple. I don't see any tandems in Girona.
I think if you're a tandem couple, you've got it made in the shade. Like I think that's it.
Right.
If you find someone who wants to ride around a tandem bike with you, and you
like
can just
wizards.
like be like that in sync. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You've got it sorted.
And they probably do like ultras,
Yeah.
They already got it. Like they have a nice retirement nest egg.
Yeah.
They're not fucking around.
No.
You ever think you'll get in, speaking of adventure cycling, does that interest you at all? Do you ever like think you'll change? Because like you're purebred.
What do you mean by that?
Is that the word, purebred? A purist with roads. You're a roadie, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would say my roots are in track cycling.
And even
track cycling, like that's what I did growing up. That's what I did as a junior. That's where like I've achieved most of the things that I've achieved. Sort of ventured into road cycling after the Paris Olympics, just to kind of see like, oh, okay, this is interesting to me. It's a new thing. It's kind of it. When you think about cycling as a sport, you think about road cycling. That's where the career path is for professional racing. But it is, I would say, relatively new to me. Really, it's been in the last 2-3 seasons that I've really started to focus on it.
Yeah.
It is a lot different than track cycling. Got my ass kicked the first season here in Europe. Just like was so not ready for what that life meant. Going from just a couple World Cups and World Championships a year with your track squad versus now you're just in Spain and you're just going to race every weekend, and it's like a different physical demand, different level of training. But yeah,
what do you like better?
I think they're different. I think you kind of have to view them almost as like two separate sports. They both have the commonality of like there's a bicycle, but the dynamic of the racing is different. Like track cycling, specifically the discipline that I've been doing the last couple of years, it's a timed event. So there's no like romance to it. There's no racing. You're just trying to go as fast as you can with like 3 other guys helping you. And yeah, okay, there's tactics and this and that, but it's
full gas.
It's pretty like, you're just going full gas the whole time, right? There's not that much finesse to it. Versus road cycling, you have the team. It plays out over days. If it's a stage race, there's different. You've got weather. You've got the elements of the course. Like it all comes together. It's so much more of a bigger puzzle piece to it.
Sure, you got shitty hotels and
yeah. The hotels don't bother me. It's like I don't know. It's so much more of like a complete picture, and I think it just makes it feel like. When you've mastered it, it's more impressive. Like track cycling, guys who are really good at any discipline of cycling are impressive. But I think like if you're at the top of road cycling, it's like, okay, you've figured out, you're a very well-rounded athlete and also like a very, strong, tough-minded individual as well. Cause it just takes more to like deal with the heat, the cold, the rain, shitty days, good days, all of that, all of that culminates, you know, and that's why I find it fascinating as a challenge to try and, you know, find my place in that world.
Do you have any track events planned for next year?
Yeah. So the national championships start January 9.
Oh,
so it's
wow.
like, you know, get all the celebrations out of your system from New Year's and like right back into it. So before that, at the same track in Bromont in Quebec, they'll host a UCI race. I'll use that 2 days of racing as like a little warm up for nationals. Day of rest, the national championships start. And then beyond that, you know, you've got continental championships. You've got a lot of World Cups. They're all in Asia this year, except for the other ones in Australia. So it's a bit like inconvenient to go to World Cups. Just it's a huge time commitment. Commonwealth Games, World Championships are all on the table for next year. So still, you know, talking to the national team, figuring out what I want to do, figure out what makes sense with the road calendar. But yes, there will be some velodrome exploits in my future. I think, I know.
That's exciting.
Yeah. But you're asking about like endurance cycling, like the ultra stuff. Like it's definitely crossed my mind. I've thought about doing it as like, you know, if I go as far as I feel like I can go in racing, and now it's like, okay, you know, I'm not going to go any further, or I can't justify spending my life on this anymore. It's time to maybe move on. I think that definitely interests me, just not to do it like competitively to like try and set like Trans-America records or anything, but just to like go, like maybe you spend the summer in between university, like just, you know, you get a van and you just do these like point to points and someone just drives the van behind you. And then the next day you're in the van and they're riding and you just see a bit of the country like that.
Yeah.
I think that would be really cool. The town I live in, well, I'm born in Canada, is Ancaster. And we have the Paris to Ancaster like gravel race there, which has really grown into like quite a big thing. So that's like on my bucket list to win. It like the finishing climb goes up to my high school. So it's like, it's really cool. I won the 40K edition, like the 40 kilometer distance, like it's like the mini Paris to Ancaster when I was like 13 or 14, but the big one, like the big prizes. And now I think like 150K race. So that's like still something to do when I'm like young and fit enough to actually compete with these big dogs. But maybe that's on my bucket list beyond road cycling at the moment.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I would like to do the Chaka route at some point this spring, just to get out and do it before. I mean, not for the race, but just to go see the route. It looks like a really, really cool route. The adventure cycling for me is sort of the same, not the competitive part, but I feel like the marketing for adventure cycling is like really goes over the top with, they really push like the adventure racing part, where everybody on the social media scene. Also, these cookies without milk or anything are hard to put down.
Yeah,
like I want to keep eating, but I'm like,
yeah, I'm kind of like worried about making like really gross like throat noises, like we're doing ASMR.
But to have a nice gravel bike and with some nice bags that you can take a backpack, take some food, and like go do like pedal as far as you want. And if the sun goes down and you just want to camp, throw up a bivvy tent. You know, make some soup or something, and then keep going in the morning. I'm so down for that, especially being here in Catalonia. Is like the most amazing place in the world.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why, or I don't know, like, you know, I want to go to Italy. I want to go to Norway. I want to go to all these different places to cycle, like all these like top epic places. But you literally from outside of our door in Girona can reach like it's unlimited. Yeah. Like it's almost like a lifetime worth of cycling from the coast to the mountains to Andorra into France. Like you can reach all these super great places. It's like the Pyrenees are amazing.
Yeah, especially from this side, because you get into the foothills as well, and like you're not dealing with like super high mountain passes, but you're still up, and the scenery feels very like, I guess not alpine, like Pyrenean. Like it feels like you're in the mountains.
All those little villages up there too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really, really pretty. And especially if you're going at it with like the adventure cycling context, there's so many, like this region isn't as like super well connected with like paved roads, but there are so many like gravel roads that are maybe a little too gnarly to take a road bike on. But if you've got like a nice gravel bike, man, the routes you can make are just incredible.
And all the Catalonia flags, like it's still like the Catalan culture on this side and the other side in France. Because we were seeing a lot of Catalan flags when we were in Toulouse. And we were up in, was that Lourdes? Where was that hotel where we stayed at?
We spent some time in the Gers department. and a little bit out, we were like toward Auch. We were in Lourdes. We were in a few different places. I don't remember where we slept the first couple nights, but certainly like the Catalan, like, you know, I'm not going to pretend to know like history and geography, but certainly the culture and the kingdom, whatever was there hundreds of years ago, would have spilt over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remarkable. Super cool.
Yeah. Is that race in Canada sort of like the Chaka of your town, or is it that same vibe?
Yeah. It's like, I mean, it's less of a big deal because Ancaster's not a mecca for like cycling marketing, but it was the like gravel national championships a few years ago.
What is Ancaster known for?
It is known for being close to Hamilton. It is known for it was
Say no more.
Yeah, it was originally like the mill. So this town was established like even before Canada was a country. It was like an old like British settlement.
Wow.
So the first like grain mill of the area was there. So it was initially like before the Industrial Revolution. It was a big industrial center. And then when we were fighting the Americans, it was where we would stage all our troops to send them down to Niagara to hold the line. So all the barracks and everything from where all the British soldiers would have been sleeping and training in the War of 1812 are like still standing in the town. So it's now like a garage and a hotel, but yeah, it's super cool little bit of history there. But Ancaster, not cycling.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Where I grew up in New Jersey, we were at Washington's Post, and like in God, I want to say Delaware, but it wasn't the Delaware the state. It was the Delaware Water Gap. So Washington had a fort in that area in Waterloo Village, and talk about history. It's like where, you know, all that the troops and everybody, all the big encampments were, and all the buildings are still there, and they would take us there for like school, you know, school trips, and there would be all the people doing, not the LARPing. It was like maybe the original LARPers where, you know,
the reenactors,
the reenactors that took it so serious. It was super cool.
Yeah.
They'd get big cows and walk them around and let you milk the cows, and you'd be like, whoa, this is fucking crazy.
It's so wild, right? Because like you come here to like Girona or, you know, any other parts of Europe that were like not destroyed in the war, and there's just so much like really properly old stuff. Like I feel like I go home and I get, you know, excited when I see like a, you know, 200-year-old cannon.
Right.
It's like, man, the street I like walked to get here is like 1,000 years old.
Right.
It's mental, you know.
Right.
So
even older than that.
Yeah.
It's so old.
It's history is so fascinating. I thought I would spend Christmas here this year. But just, for multiple reasons, I need to go home and get a few things sorted before I can come back here for like the majority of the season.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is on my bucket list. I like how Girona balances like, I don't want to say like archaic, but like very, very old, like deep rooted tradition with like new vibes. Like just look at town, you know, there's Christmas lights, there's Santa Claus, there's this, there's that, there's Christmas music. It's like all like the new wave stuff that's happy and cheery, but then it also keeps alive the old messages, like the true foundation of this kind of this modern tradition. And they don't do it in a way that feels like juxtaposed. It's like, this is all one piece.
Sure. Versus
I think you go home and we have all the new like Santa Claus and reindeer, but we don't have anything like, you know, people, you talk about like the three wise men or this or that, or, you know, you have a nativity scene.
Yeah.
And that feels like, whoa, that's like weird, like super old. Like, are you some kind of like nut? It's like, no, this is like the whole picture of Christmas, you know?
It's in the story.
Yeah. So I really do like how like the way just the culture seems here in Girona. I think it's such a special place in that sense.
Yeah. I won't have time to do it, but it would be so cool to build like a nativity scene and have the goat Cherise just like have her chilling and just be like, is that a real goat? Like, what the heck?
You should go down in the old town. They have a little like in the museum. They have a bunch of how do you say it? Nativity scenes.
Nativity.
There's like nativity. There's like maybe 50 of them all set up in there, and each one has come from like a different region from just around Catalonia.
Mm-hmm.
Super fun to go walk through. It's like a 30-minute little exhibition.
Super cool.
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah, we have off for the next couple of days, so I think it'll be fun to do some stuff with Ellie and to get down there in town. I hope the rain clears out.
Yeah, I'm like done my training block for this month, so I've got like Monday, Tuesday to like actually enjoy myself a little bit, just do some easy rides in the morning, you know, see around a little bit. So I'm looking forward to like experiencing Christmas. I feel like I've been like waiting. Yes, this is my chance.
What places do you like to go in town when you're just chilling and not riding?
Ooh, okay. I'm like I don't want to gatekeep anything, so I'm gonna expose some hidden gems. Or
Okay.
it's not super hidden, but like Oniria Cafe is like my favorite coffee shop, and this is like no secret in Girona. This is like a top tier like coffee shop if you're into like specialty coffee. So that's always like where you can find me and some of my friends hanging out in the morning. Other than that, I just kind of like to get away from the city. Like I'll go up into the hills, especially in the spring or the summer, and just like enjoy. I like how you can go up there and it just very quickly feels like you're no longer in an urban center, and I appreciate that. I'm someone who really enjoys being social, and if you engage me, I'll typically always engage back unless I'm like really hungry and grumpy. But I also do really just like value alone time and like solitude. So for me, it's just anywhere I can go to like totally feel like centered and like I'm not worrying about a car or this or that, and I can just, you know, give myself some space to let whatever thoughts happen. So I don't know.
There's my one of this cute little you know where Bordeaux is? It's just like past Cellera.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really cool place for me to go. Like it's not that far to ride your bike to.
Yeah.
And it just seems very like it's just small town, small village. There's a couple stores there, a cafe, a bar.
Yeah.
I love how many of these little towns are in this area.
Yeah.
It's super cool.
I love just riding through these like tiny little communities, and you just kind of end up there, and there's like one shop, and you just go in there, and I just think, am I like the first ever Canadian who's like walked in here? Like, there is a chance of that.
Where were you when you saw that cat on the car?
Oh, that wasn't far from here. That was, I don't know how to say the town name, but that was like,
Was that when you were in France?
It was very close by. No, that was here in Spain. Yeah. A cat sleeping on a Saab.
I thought I recognized those trees.
You definitely like know where it is.
Yeah,
I'm just like, I'm going to butcher the town name, and it won't help us like ascertain where this was.
Yeah. It's sort of south of, it's like Casa de Silva area, but like west in that like
correct
area.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I saw the trees, I was like, I know those trees. I probably know the cat. That cat's been there. Like it's like a pretty popular or like a main cycling route, whether going out or coming back, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm like, I'll show you on the map.
Look it up on the map.
But yeah, that's like I don't know. I just like going around like in town, like in Girona, just like wandering in and out of shops. Like especially if something's new, I'll just go in, and maybe I'll never like go back or actually buy anything. But it's just fun to like see what's going on. Things always change. There's always new restaurants. There's always new shops. Just keep myself amused. You know, I don't know. I didn't grow up in a particularly urban area, so sometimes I feel like just existing in one is strange sometimes.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Have you ever been out there to that Ripoli?
Yes, I've been to Repo.
Oh,
I don't know if that's how you say it.
I don't know why I said Ripoli, but
yeah.
Repo. Repo, the Ola is supposed to be a great ride.
Olot, I went there today. Olot's like a classic route. But yeah, Repo you can do here, and then you can go. This is one really nice long climb. Camprodon is really super nice. You can go up. There's a great route you can do that sort of skirts along the French border here in the foothills of the Pyrenees. But it's like a 7-hour day.
Yeah.
And my favorite ride to do takes you out to a town called Santolero, and it's sort of just north of Vic. Yeah, here. It's different on this, but yeah. Sant Pere de Torelló. And there's this awesome little climb that takes you up, and you can just see, like, the entirety of, I swear, like Catalonia from where you are. Like the French mountains are just behind you, and you can see just straight over everything all the way to the coast. It's spectacular.
And there's that huge reservoir out there too.
Mm-hmm. But it is like a big, and it's like a weird like geological ecological zone because it's at a bit of altitude. Like it's at like 600 meters, so it's a little bit higher than what you have in Girona.
Okay.
But just like where you are geographically, it's like, I don't know. It feels very unique. It feels like you're wondering like, where have I ended up? It almost looks like these big plains that you see in like, I don't know, Greenland or something, like this like weird like tundra vibe. And I don't know. I like it.
Spain's super diverse.
It's wild the microclimates you get here. Like,
and the whole country is like that.
Yeah. I just think about like within the Girona corridor that you can realistically ride on a bicycle and in one day. You've got like the coast, so like the super tropical warm Mediterranean coast. You've got central Girona, which can like, or just the area around Girona can be like kind of arid, a little like, you know, like typical Spain, you know, what you would just see on Instagram. And you go north and you're like, man, I'm in a ski town. Like this is crazy. And then you get these like weird little microclimates where you're in a valley and now it's like humid and like rainforesty, or you go up and now it's like, this weird like climb where it almost feels like a strange like tundra vibe, so wild. I realize like I'm making myself sound like super uneducated right now as I'm rambling through these like similes and metaphors.
No, it's true. I think it's great. I mean, I think you're in good company.
It feels good to like sometimes just be in a situation with someone where you just both don't know quite 100% what you're talking about, but enough that you can like,
from America.
we're talking about Spain,
fairly new here,
trying to pronounce all these town names.
I could tell you all about New Jersey. Trust me.
Yeah.
If you wanted to know.
We can go into some Hamilton lore.
But I think for a lot of the listeners too, like the people who are going to check this out, friends of mine, friends of yours, even the new people who are going to check it out. Actually, the other day, shout out to whoever I wish I had his name written down, but one guy that listens to the podcast and he subscribes on Spotify and then he's on the YouTube, like one of the 16 YouTube subscribers. He just was reaching out the other day when I was like taping up the cables. And he was like, "Hey, I don't know you, but like I follow you, but like I just wanted to drop you a message. Like, please do more shows. Like your shows are like I really enjoy them."
Yeah.
And I was like, "This has got to be a spam. This is a bot." Or it's like, "There's no way this dude is real." And then I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" And he was like, "Hey." And then like I just started chatting him up with him. And he's like an older guy that comes to Girona and rides, and he was just like, "Yeah, like I want to hear." Like he's like, he's almost like saying like, "I hope you are going to keep doing it because you should," and I really enjoyed it. And then I was like, "Get up here!" I started taping more cables and like trying to get this ready. I was like, "Got to get Carson up here. Got to get back into it because this is like I love doing this."
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
This is so much fun.
This is so much fun.
I can imagine like we have 2 more people here, get a real like.
You feel like a party going,
super
like
good conversation going.
Yeah. Yeah, especially with 4 people, because then you start to like it's a little bit different dynamic because I think people talk over each other more when there's 4 people.
Yeah.
We sort of bounce ideas or wait and have a little bit of back and forth. With 4 people, you can be like, no. It'd be like a little bit harder to listen to. I don't listen to too many podcasts with multiple guests or more than 2 people.
That's true, I guess. If it starts to become a little bit like you almost need but you like the video component though, I feel like might be more engaging in that sense because people get like super animated.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're watching like more of like a reality TV show,
Yeah.
Just 4 people sitting in a living room. Like you got to have a subject though that's like there's gonna be those hot points on. Like if 4 people just rambling about their like favorite towns in and around Girona, maybe not so much.
Yeah, like what would be the show would have to be the think about like what is the topic or what does it revolve around. Be super fun though. I mean, that's why I set it up for 4 people to do.
Yeah.
Like my friend Jalma, who runs the podcast or the food cart, the food pod, the Thai.
Oh yeah, okay.
Who was like the first guest of the first show I did here in Girona. He's trying to branch out and start like a community network of food, culture, people, like just good vibes. And I think it would be good to have him on with other community members that are going to want to join him and try to start this like project that he's doing to discuss like, I don't know if it would be like politics or business or the way to their idea of like starting this community. But that's a topic that interests me for sure.
Yeah. You get guys like really riffing on a subject and just sit back and watch the magic.
Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen. I think just being able to know that like I get to talk to you and also sort of just like document our friendship and our relationship too, and like see where you're at. I know that I'll know you for the rest of my life. Yeah. Which is a really cool vibe.
I'll never forget, like, when we were coming home from Ronde Lizard, the race that I met you at.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. You're helping me just, like, carry my bag up to my, like, apartment. And you're like, I gotta go, but I hope you remember, we're friends for life now. And then you just, like, ran out of my flat. I was like, this is sick, dude. Like, we've just been through 10 days of, like, hell.
Oh, yeah.
And now it's like, all right.
That'll make you friends.
Locked in.
Yeah. But, like, having these conversations and be able to look back at them this year, next year, to see the progress of like this project, what you're doing, and really for me is like what sort of like sets in stone my life and how I can look back and be like building off of things. And it doesn't have to be this big, well, not payday, but at the end of the day, for me, it's what I really enjoy is to see like the progress of like, I used to do podcasts years ago and like now like bringing Ellie into it or like there's like all this like timeline and recording it and and it's cool to sort of share it with other people too, because we can sit and have coffee, and I mean that's like the everyday stuff. But I feel like we get into it with the headphones on and the microphones. We sort of like you get a little bit deeper into like your personal story.
Yeah, I
know?
feel that. I feel that way.
Be like, what did you ask for Santa for Christmas?
Are you being serious?
Yeah, a new frame.
Oof. yeah. I didn't just break my
team?
spine. I broke my frame too. God damn it.
Yeah, what is your what is your team looking like, or what do you have? Do you have a contract for the year? Or are you still looking to, like, let's getting back into it.
Yeah,
we're getting a little sentimental there. I like that.
Yeah,
it's beginning to look a lot. What are you gonna do? Like, you're a young guy. So, you know, you've been through the ringer this year. 2026 is coming up. Like, how do you see your future going, and like, how do you, as taking it like a business, to be like, how are you trying to position yourself this year for your growth?
Yeah. So here's like my situation. Like,
my parents went away on a week vacation.
Don't get me started. Yeah. So we okay. Train of thought. Recentered. Let's go. In road cycling, like, for context, you have this thing called like under 23. So that's, you turn under 23 after junior. So when you're in the year where you turn 19, and you have until the year that you turn 23 to sort of fit into this under 23 category. And it sort of acts as like an intermediary between juniors, like teenagers, and like top senior pros. Because some guys are able to make that jump straight away. You know, you have these like super like mental prodigies that are just like winning races at 19. But the vast majority of cyclists take a bit of time to like grow and mature physically and just sort of learn the game. And this under 23 sort of like stepping stone acts for that. So there's specific under 23 races. This race that you and I went to in France was an under 23 race. Tour l'Avenir, it's an under 23 race. So it's just for guys within that age group. There's a separate world championships. There's usually separate national championships. And it's sort of like there's whole professional teams that only operate within that realm, this like developmental realm, to help bring you up into like the senior pro ranks. So that's where I'm at. I'm going into my 4th year under 23. People think I'm like older, and I go like, oh, I've got one more year U23, and they look at me like, what? So I'm going into 4th year under 23, which means this is, you know, beyond that, your chances of competing at things like national championships, world championships, you know, start to become slimmer and slimmer, because you're competing with like the big guys for these spots on these teams, right? And you know, there's just less support. There's not development teams or teams looking to take on guys that are like 24 or 25. Just, it's a bad investment. They want to invest in these young kids. So for me, this is sort of, all right, I've got one more year. You know, the injuries are behind me. I still have, you know, these opportunities ahead of me. I want to still carry on full gas and see where I can go in the realm of road cycling. Like, can I, is a professional contract in my future? I don't know yet, but that's what I'm here to figure out. Obviously, when you go and have an injury that catastrophic, and people that you're talking to about teams and contracts want to know why the hell you DNF'd, you know, one of the biggest races on your calendar, and why you're not going to Worlds anymore, and then you tell them, oh, my neck is broken. You know, that starts to get a little bit difficult when you're, you know, trying to negotiate for spots on teams. So my situation got a little, felt a little desperate, I would say, in September or October. Like, all of a sudden, these opportunities that were really exciting and was moving along just sort of disappeared like in thin air.
Right.
And then happily, a really, really golden ticket opportunity came along to race with a team up in France. It's a club level team, but France has a super, super strong competitive like domestic circuit. So lots of guys. There's these super well organized, super well supported teams, and they just race the like French circuit because it's just, there's such a good like pool of talent in that country. And this team is tied into one of the French continental teams called Nice Metropole, which is like, you know, a pretty big outfit within France. It's a, you know, a great team. They get lots of good races. So the plan is to start with sort of this club development team that Nice has integrated into sort of their network. You know, do some races, hopefully win some results, see how the progression is, see how the recovery and the rebuild from the injury is. Like, you know, that's still going to be part of the process for the next 2 months. And the hope is that, you know, there's enough there that they can go, okay, Carson, you know, maybe midway through the season, we'll bump you up to the big team. Now you can be racing with the Conti guys again, and, you know, start getting into some really like big professional level races again, racing throughout Europe. So that's sort of my goal. You know, that's where I want to see myself by the end of the year, is racing at that higher level again, with the hopes of beyond 2026 signing like a bigger contract with, you know, maybe an even bigger team. So that's sort of that pathway, and I just wanted to race more, and I like racing over here in Europe and this and that. And, you know, the team I'm starting at least with is based in Toulouse, so it means I can stay here in Girona and just kind of go back and forth. So that's great. And then the other thing I'm thinking about as well is the Road World Championships are in Montreal next September.
Oh, wow.
So this is the first time Canada's hosted a Road World Championships in like 23 years. The last time Canada held the Road World Championships, they were in my place of birth in Hamilton, like 6 months before I was born. So it's kind of a full circle moment. There's so many reasons that I want to be competing in Montreal, you know, one of which being I would have been competing in Rwanda at the World Championships, would have been my first Road World Championships, and then I went and crashed like 10 days prior, so didn't get to go. So I want to redeem myself. I want to have that opportunity. You know, it's the World Championships. It's a big opportunity. It's a chance to really show like this is what I'm capable of. The event, the time trial, is like a pretty well-suited course for me next year in Montreal. It's like just the kind of race I feel that I can prepare myself well enough to podium or win. So there's all these great things moving, and, you know, there's still a big amount of work that needs to be done, and lots of things need to go right. But what's really exciting about this coming season is that there really is like a direct pathway, and it feels like there's a stepping stone, versus it feels like last season it was really my first like full-time foray into like, all right, for this next 12 months, I'm going to be doing road cycling. I'm not doing track anymore. That like nice safety net of what I know and the structure that I'm familiar with is gone. And I'm just trying to like, you know, throw as many dice in the air as I can and just hoping that one sticks, versus now it feels like, all right, one's stuck. It's maybe not the super dreamy ideal situation that everyone, you know, dreams about at night, but it's still a path, and it doesn't just feel like we're just throwing things and trying to see what stays in the air, you know? So I'm really excited. I'm trying to like communicate how excited I am. But it's also like excitement with a purpose, and there's a plan, and it's just, yeah, it's been a long time since I've really believed in what I was doing the way I believe in what I'm doing now. And I think that's like the most powerful thing that I can truly get behind, sort of what I've got on the calendar in the next 8 months. And that I think is going to be the most, you know, crucial part for me.
That's absolutely amazing. That's fantastic. I'm really glad to hear that. Carson, I can't wait to watch what happens. It's been great to have you here again on the show for a second time.
First repeat guest.
That's
stroke
huge.
my ego.
I mean, check that one off your list,
Yeah.
your bucket list. I'm super stoked, man. It's great to know you. I'm really excited for you. Thank you for so much for sharing what you're doing, what you're going to be doing, and I hope to get you on a third time.
Yeah, we can do a follow-up. See, we can like go back to what I just said of like my plans and my goals, and we can see like, all right, how miserably did I fail, you know?
Well, there's nothing wrong with that either, you know? I think every time things change or we come in contact with, you know, the ups and downs of life, I always try to say like, well, that's a good thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
We're still growing. We're still, you know, like you're overcoming this challenge that was just in the plan.
Yeah.
It was all part of the big plan.
Yeah, things tend to always really have a way of working out, don't they? So
yeah.
I believe in that, and that's, yeah.
Yeah, and thanks for being so cool with our new producer.
Hey, it's great. Like if I had the chance to play around with some knobs and dials, I would have been all over that at her age.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Cheers, man. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
See you, everybody.